Did you get the black white girl?
Discovery to you, the hair rules were not catered to us. The uniform was like not fitting my nyash. It was.
One thing about me, I always thought I was cute. Okay. Hi, welcome back to the Smile Back podcast. This is episode 2. Thanks for tuning in again. If you're new here, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And stay tuned weekly for latest episodes. I'm here and I'm excited. I'm with my guest Lani, a multifaceted creative located in Brisbane. How are you going?
I'm good, girl. How are you?
I'm good.
That's good.
How's life treating you?
Life is doing its thing. It's having its ups and its downs at the moment, but so far so good. I'm blessed abundantly, so yeah.
That's good. How have you found this year?
Oh, good question. I have found this year a true lesson of adulting in every shape and form, I would say. It's challenging me. How about yourself?
I concur. I feel like, this year, adulting is a scam, okay? I had this idolized version of what I thought it would be like. It is definitely not that.
Yeah.
But you know, we take the highs with the lows. I thought this year would be my year.
Every year is your year.
Okay.
Every year is your year.
Okay, thank you. I'm just hoping next year is my year in a different way.
Exactly. 2.0.
Yeah, 2.0. Yeah. But we need these times. So.
100%. But no, high school definitely sold us a scam for sure.
Exactly.
For sure. They said freedom and I was like, oh, this sounds amazing. Freedom comes at expense, guys.
Yes, that's the one thing they didn't tell you, the expense.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited that, we're finally, coming to the close. It's holiday
December's
period.
Here.
Yes, what are you going to be doing for your December?
I have grandma from overseas. She's based in the UK, so she's here. So it's going to be very much like sightseeing, as if she hasn't been to Australia before, but she very much has. But it's going to be sightseeing, enjoying some good abrai on Christmas Day. I feel like as a good on Southern African, I cannot go throughout Christmas without a whole lot of meat. Yeah. So yeah, it'd be that. It'd be a lot of family time at the moment, which I'm really looking forward to. A good way to wind down to the big year it's been and step into the new year on the right foot. So yeah.
Exciting. I love that for you. Gogo is in town.
Gogo is in town. She's living it up, enjoying the sun whilst it's out.
Yes. Now, how's your mum when she's around? Is she like, Lani, make sure you clean, make sure you have everything in order?
We're actually like all besties. Like we all have like my great grandma, my grandma, my mom and I, we all literally have a ring that has like all of our birth years in it. And so I think we're all separated by like 20 years or something like that, but we're all like super tight. So she's the same girl. She's still cleanly. She's still doing her things, of course, having the love of respect. But like girl chats are so fun. Like before we go to bed, we're literally just sitting in the guest bedroom, just chatting and having a catch up as if like, yeah.
I love, Lani is like the epitome of what I want for like the following generations. Like what I want to have with my daughter and my daughter to have with her daughter and following and so on. Like the way that you and your mama are and like it sounds like with your grandmother, it's so beautiful.
Oh, it's amazing. I'm scared. I really want to have hopefully when I have my own daughter, God willing, that I have the same kind of relationship. I think it's kind of I think talking to a whole lot of friends and hearing their journeys with like family and everything like that, I'm like, okay, I need to appreciate the connection I have a whole lot more than I already do, because sometimes it's so easy to take that level of freedom and communication for granted. Yeah. So yeah, no, 100%. You'll get there, babe. You have your baby and it will be vibes. And then when I'm tired about it, I'll just hand her over to you and be like, please.
Yeah.
Before I kill her myself.
I love it. Auntie Gina is always here. She is always here.
That's good.
So how have you found, because Lani is a creative, how do you find the creative industry of Brisbane and working in here?
I feel like it's growing. It's like a empty canvas almost, with everyone kind of infants finding their own step, making their own way, learning from one another, growing with one another. So yeah, I would say this is only the beginning for Brisbane creatives. I think there's so much more in store for what's going to happen in this space and in this area. And I'm really passionate and excited to see what fruit comes of it. Yeah. We'll see.
Well, you're so talented. So I feel like I'm definitely with you. I do feel like it's now becoming a bigger scene than what it was. We're
100%.
definitely seeing like more creatives up and coming, more collaborations.
Yeah.
And just, I feel like it's exciting when you're in that sort of like beginning stage of things, because there's so much potential.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
When you go to places that are more established, I feel like it's harder then to just find your own footing and like make your own name. There is something to be said about when, you know, everything's kind of springing up, being in that starting phase and like being able to like...
That's good. I feel like it's a mixture. I would
Yeah.
say, I think there's a reason why people gravitate towards Sydney and Melbourne, because
Definitely.
I think, there's something that you can learn from people who've been in the field for ages. Yes, there's a level of competitiveness, but like you're saying, like Rome isn't built in a day. So as much as this season is so fruitful and exciting, it means there's hard work. It means creatives finding the value and charging exactly what they deserve. Like when I found out exactly how much stylists and interior designers charge in Melbourne and how little I was charging here, I was like, okay, Melbourne's looking nice. It's looking real. So there's definitely, I think there's ups and downs with being in this season for sure. 100%, but it's worth it to a certain extent.
Yeah. To a certain extent, So let's go back a little bit. So when did you come to Australia?
Ooh, it'd be like 11 years ago, 10 years ago. You girl's officially a citizen, finally.
Yeah, okay.
Finally.
We got that citizenship, we got that passport. Where were you before then?
I was in New Zealand.
Okay.
I was in New Zealand, so I'm a Kiwi girl out there all through and through, but yeah.
Oh, how long were you there?
Another, 8 years.
8 years.
So most of my like late primary school, early high school to mid high school was New Zealand.
Okay.
Yes.
And then you were in Zim prior.
No, I was a UK galley.
Oh, we've had this conversation. That's why we clicked. Yeah.
I was a UK gal. All of my baby years were there. So I moved there when I was like 2.5, 3.
Yes.
And then did those years there. And then mid-primary, dad, not even mom, dad was like, oh, Australia, New Zealand is looking nice. And, and then off we went. So yeah, that was the little hop around. And then before that, that's where I was in Zim.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was young, so I can't really recall
Just
of
a
my own
baby.
memory.
Yeah.
Of what it was like. But
Have you guys been back?
we try to go back every single 5 years. We used to do it a little bit more consistently. And then good old coronavirus decided to spread its love all over the world and limited our freedom. So yeah, so we're hopefully going back for my grandma's 90th in 2025.
Okay.
So that'll be a big reunion, big vibe.
Grandma's turning 90.
She's getting
Good
old.
on her. She is strong.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
She's God's strongest soldier right there. But
So she came here from Zim.
That's dad's side.
Dad's side. Okay.
That's dad's side. Sorry, I confused
Alright.
that. Yeah.
No,
So
that's
be a
all
vibe.
good.
How about yourself? Because you're UK
Yes.
and then straight here to Australia.
Yeah, so I came here to the UK when I was like 9 months.
Okay.
And then, did about approximately like 10 years there, just
Wow.
under.
Yeah.
And then we did like 6 months in Zim and then
Wow.
Australia.
Why the 6 months in Zim?
Because my dad wanted us to know that in Africa there's chocolate.
The skin exists, my child.
Yeah, exactly. Like he really wanted us to know our grandparents, to meet our family,
That's good.
to just have that experience and connection. And I'm so grateful that he did do that for me, because meeting Sekuru, my grandfather, you know, was just so important. He was on my dad's side. He was just such an amazing man, and I just feel so much more connected to my roots and meeting my cousin, because my dad's one of 9. And my mum,
That's some family right there.
yeah, and it is. It's a big family, and I feel like we had a bit more connection with my mum's side because 2 of my uncles lived in the
UK with you
UK.
guys.
So yeah, I grew up with that side of the cousins and everything. But with dad's side, we didn't know anyone. So yeah, just being able to like meet everyone.
Yeah. I'm glad you put in the effort with that. I think that's the one thing, like, I have one cousin from dad's side here and she's become like my biggest sister and we're now super close.
Yes.
But when we only saw each other every 5 years or whatsoever, that connection that I yearned for to like, you know, you to be like, yeah, I've got a cousin wheresoever and like talk to them so often was not there. So I think it's so great that your father saw the value in that and was like, okay, time to dunk y'all guys in and see whether you survive or not.
Exactly, because I feel like with my older siblings, they had so much longer in Zim, so they had like these really amazing memories of my grandparents and everything, and me and my little brother, we missed out on that. So it just wasn't there. But now, I do.
How often do you go back?
We haven't been back since. So we were supposed to go back. I feel like 4 years ago. But some things happened, and we couldn't make it, and we haven't been back since. So
It'll happen.
It will. It'll definitely happen. Let me tell you though, when those 6 months were up, I was ready to go.
She's like, I think I've done my time there.
Yeah, I was ready to get myself back to the West.
Yeah, fair enough.
I was tired, but no, I love it. I do want to go back. I do. I want to experience Dirty December and not in Zim because that's not going to be the same thing. That's not for the week. No. But I really want to go to like Ghana. Are you having the same vibe?
Yeah. So literally my whole plan, or like I hope to, Lord, please give me the finances. Yeah. But my hope is that before we go and do the whole family trip, prior to us getting to Zim, I'll start from the top and work my way down because I haven't been to Egypt. I've been to Egypt. I haven't seen Kenya, but I haven't like really experienced Kenya or Nigeria. And I'm just like, no, like I want to be immersed in like African culture on so many different like levels and explore. So I think the first month before we go, or maybe the month after, I'm not sure at this rate, but I just want to start at the top and just like cover a few countries here and there. Yeah. Enjoy and explore 100%. And enjoy Dirty December. The Nigerians are really popping off at the moment and they're loving it. So I just want to know how much enjoyment they're having so I can join in on that enjoyment.
Yeah, exactly. We are missing out. We are missing out.
We are. We've got influence over here. Yeah. That's it.
The girlies are living their best life. Their best life. I know that like there's Afro Nation and
there's so much.
But you went to Promised Lands. So
I did.
You got to have a good taste.
I did. It was a vibe. But honestly, Promised Land had a lot of islanders. So I swear it was like 50-50. Like, because Amapiano has like become so huge, that was one genre where I was like seeing Zims and South Africans left, right, and center. And the Sudanese are really loving Amapiano too. There was a whole lot of like different like Africans in that crowd, so it was interesting. I don't know whether it'd be the same vibe as that festival though. Are they hosting it in Portugal?
Afro Nation.
Yeah,
no, they do it in Portugal, but they also are doing it in Ghana.
Get out.
Yes. So it's happening now in December.
So that's why it's the place to be.
Yeah.
Get out.
And Accra, Ghana. I hope I'm saying that right with my Ghanaians. If I'm butchering it, let me know. But,
facts. Yeah. Pull her out. Don't cancel her. But
no, please. But yeah, that is the place. Like Ghana is so beautiful.
It is.
It wasn't until Ducky went on a trip with Yvonne, Ducky thought, and it just like when I saw the photos and I was like, damn, that's Ghana.
Like, hello.
Yeah, and I feel like with all the media attention that like Ghana and Nigeria, South Africa are getting, like it's really drawing in the tourism. Like if you had a look at the tickets, if you book a ticket to go over there now, it's outrageous. Like those prices are.
See, I think that's why we're waiting for 2025.
Yeah, exactly. Waiting for 2025. Yeah. But the way the girlies are being treated, okay, like it's a whole other level. And I remember like last year, people were talking about like how they were just partying until like 6 a.m. in the morning, like from one age to the other. And then all of a sudden the sun just comes up and you're like, oh, okay. Like everybody is just having a good time.
Damn.
It's 2025.
Yeah, we're manifesting that.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, God willing. We'll see. If it ends up being earlier, I'll give you a heads up.
Yes.
It's pre-planned.
Yes. So when, just going back to like the fact that you've done like schooling, your primary schooling in
UK,
in the UK and Australia. When in particular with Australia, were you always on like the northern side, the northern suburbs?
I'm a Sunny Coast babe. I'm a Sunny Coast girl. So I only really became a Brisbane City girl, like what, 2 years ago? Well, like living here for 2 years now. But other than that, I've been in the whitewash seas of sunny coast for a while.
The whitewash seas.
So it's good.
I feel like me and you connected. We went out and we were having drinks and we were having this conversation. And I feel like we've had a very similar lived experience as Black Zimbabwean women, but growing up in very whitewashed places. Okay, I shouldn't even say that. Like, it's just predominantly white areas.
Yeah.
Because especially if you live on the north side.
Oh, yeah.
I was not a south side girl. Okay?
I didn't know we existed.
No.
I didn't know. I was flabbergasted because I honestly thought, like, at the time, like high school.
Yeah.
My mum moved in. We were the first Africans. Like, our whole family came, obviously. So it's my mum, my two younger brothers, and myself.
Yeah.
We went to that school. We were the only Africans. The only. And we were like, oh, we're a whole new discovery to you. The hair rules were not catered to us. The uniform was like not fitting my nyash. It was a whole thing. And I was like, okay, this is a step. And I went on for ages just not knowing. And I was like, where are all the South Africans? Where are all the Zimbas?
Yeah.
And then I think I went to like AFCON or something like that. Like my brother got accepted into the Zim team. And played with them the one time, and I came down this ways, and I was like, "What,
Yes.
Maruka? What do you mean? There's others?
There's more?"
I was absolutely shook to my core. So yeah.
Was that the same when you were in the UK and New Zealand?
No, I would say actually UK was a little bit more balanced. There were other kids that were African, like particularism as well in my school. We had a great community there back at home. New Zealand, I would say New Zealand's fairly similar to here in Australia, but also you've got like Kiwis, so they're like brown, so it's like you really didn't feel it as much. But moving here, I was like, oh, I'm different, all right. This is new, but yeah.
I feel like I was the same as you, as like I didn't have an awakening till way later in my life, like because when I was in the UK, we were like in Essex, and it was a predominantly white area as well.
We were in the same suburb as well, or like area.
Yeah.
How did I miss that? Anyways,
We're just
continue.
crossing paths.
We probably met when we were 5 and we're just like,
And then literally, I was like pretty much always like the only like Black girl at school. I remember
in UK.
Like, yeah, because I was in Essex, so people would like ask me, "Am I Indian?" Like all these other cultures. They never guessed like African or Zimbabwean straight away. And then when I came here, it was the same. So it was my normal. Like it didn't feel
any different when you got here.
Yeah, like I was like I even remember I was really little. I don't know what age it was, but it's like one of my earliest memories when I was in the UK, and I remember this girl called me the N-word.
And you were completely unaware.
I knew it was bad, but I didn't know
the extremities of it.
Yes, exactly. I just knew she wasn't supposed to say it.
Okay, but so you were taken aback. You were like,
I was like, I'm gonna tell the teacher. She got in trouble, but whatever the situation is.
At the time.
Yeah, at the time, I was always so used to being the only Black girl in so many scenarios and situations that like it didn't shock me coming here. It was only, and part of that comes with different nuances. So did you have an awakening of like I'm beautiful, or did you always know I'm beautiful?
I was blessed with like good old God-fearing mum who like every single day like told me that I was beautiful. So like I had no choice the majority of the time but to believe her. So when like of course you go through a lot of bullying in like primary and all that, and they'd be like, oh, you're this, you're that, and I'd be like, what do you mean? Like my mom told me this. But I definitely didn't understand how like societal standards of beauty had affected me in my subconscious throughout growing up. So I think I had a deep understanding. Like I was like, my mom told me, I grew up knowing I'm beautiful, but society doesn't think I'm beautiful, so I'm quite confused here. But I'm cute. I could. So there was definitely, I think there was one pinnacle moment, and for me, it would have been my hair. Like grew up, and I wouldn't say it was my mother's fault. It was literally just relaxing was popping off that time, and it really made like maintaining my hair as a kid so much easier. So my hair grew so well, so healthy and everything. it was so beautiful, long and shiny. And then when I got into like, I think it was like 16 or something, and I was still in high school, and here in Australia, I shaved it all off. I was like, okay, cool. I'm fighting this mindset of like these particular stereotypes is what is considered as beautiful, and I'm gonna actually like try this whole Afro thing out that apparently is my roots.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah. No,
So that's it.
I completely relate. Listen, one thing about me, I always thought I was cute. Okay. But I didn't understand.
Yeah.
I was also thinking, but why are other people not thinking that?
The same thing.
Like, why am I not being treated the same as my best friend here with the blonde hair and the blue eyes?
Especially when you started clubbing? Was that the same thing when you were out?
No, it wasn't till then. It was much more like in my school years and
Okay,
stuff.
yeah.
Like, I remember... I've never been bullied, and I have to say I had a pretty good schooling experience. Like, I'm not
that's so
a kind of girl that just lets people run me. So my dad told me to stick up for yourself. So you say something, I'm gonna say something back. Like
100%.
shut it down real quick. So I've always loved being black. Like I never, thank God for that. My parents must have done a great job.
Yeah,
I never
does.
wanted to be any other race, but I didn't understand
the difference.
Yeah, I didn't understand like the differences and why like the societal norms of beauty. I didn't understand like how that was having an effect
On you.
Yeah, in my life.
Yeah.
And how people treated me. So I was like, when I look in the mirror, I feel like I'm
good.
cute. Like I'm beautiful.
What do you mean?
Yeah, exactly. But when I'm out here and I'm with my good girlfriends, you know, and they're, you know, Caucasian and or adjacent, they're like, you know, getting a different treatment. Mind you, most of the guys I'm around look just like them. And that's not to say I didn't get any attention, but they definitely were getting more.
Yeah.
You know, you got to understand, like, that's what they like, that's what they know. But I was like, okay, whatever. In a way, I feel like it's a good thing because wouldn't you agree, like, your personality blossoms? Like,
In that time, 100%.
yeah.
I think it's so easy then to be defined by your physique then rather than your personality.
Yeah.
So then I noticed a lot of people knew me more for how honest I am and how like I'm a goofball at times. And so I noticed that would be the case. Even like especially when like I shaved my hair off.
Yeah.
Like facial features popped off more. So I have fat cheeks and people would be like, oh my God, your cheeks all tight. And it's things that I knew, but I didn't feel like other people noticed. So then when other people started seeing them too, I was like, yeah, y'all can see it too, right?
Not just
like,
me.
Yeah, I'm not tripping. But yeah, so it's literally, it's definitely been one of those things where it's kind of rolled in that direction for me and I kind of,
That's so good. And I feel like I share the similar experience. I feel like going into high school, I would definitely say the only one thing I did let get to me, and I didn't realize I let get to me. I remember, I don't even remember this boy's name anymore, but I remember I used to like have braids quite a bit, like in between braids and a weave. My mum let me experiment with my hair and do what I wanted. The only thing she didn't want me to do was relax my hair. So that was it.
Yeah.
But on the bounds of everything else, she was just like, okay, you can do what you want.
Yeah.
I remember that I was like wearing my braids. They were real cute. You know, your 1-1s. Like,
You're ready to go.
I liked them. And he was like, you look like Lil Wayne's sister. And I was so damn offended. I'm
like, who?
These are not dreads. Like, these are, but he kept saying it. Like, and honestly, till I left school and maybe I was 19, 20, I did not wear braids. From grade 8 till then, I did not wear braids. That's how much I let it affect me.
Wow.
So dumb,
But so relevant. Like, I don't think it's how you felt. It was kind of like your response to how, like, the emotions that went through you when that was said over and over again.
Exactly.
Like, you didn't want to be associated with that mindset. Not saying there's anything wrong with looking like Lil Wayne's little sister.
No, there is.
But like, it just brought a different kind of attention and emotion that you didn't want.
Yeah.
And so I totally understand.
You don't want to be othered at that age, you know?
Yeah.
It's not exactly like I wanted to fit in, but I didn't want to be othered. Like I didn't want to be like, okay, that girl is there. So, you know, I did feel like, I was definitely doing like the straight styles, a lot more weaves, a lot more wigs in school early. Okay, I was with the lace front closures before you guys were even on it.
That's crazy, because me, I'm out here discovering wigs. Like, my mum used to wear them. I'd be like, why are you wearing a... I had no idea, and now I'm just like falling in love with them. I'm like, I could be a Becky next door sometimes, and I could be like something else another. So so no, that's wild. I'm glad that your mom exposed you to different hairstyles though. Like, I think that's so great.
She was really, really cool about that, and really... And I never told her that story, but I, you know, definitely, again, I grew up on the north side, predominantly white areas. Like, that was my experience. And so...
How did you get past that? How did you get past that moment of, like, having that period of, I'm not going to do braids because of these emotions, or how that made me feel? What was that pinnacle moment where you were like, okay, cool, like, this is actually really good for my hair, plus I look good in it, like...
I would say that while I thought I was cute and I was beautiful, because I look like my mum and my sister, and I honestly think that they're just stunning women.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, I look like these beautiful women, but I'm not getting the attention of a beautiful woman
gets. Excuse me.
Yeah. I eventually, I guess to move like forward, when I then started, because when I was around my people, like, because my dad used to like go to like soccer, if anyone knows, like Zim, like, you know, and now there's like the teams and like Zim Pride and everything like that. I would get hella attention, and it would confuse me. So I honestly didn't even like it, because
I'm not used to this.
I'm not used to this. Why are you talking to me? Like, why are you? I remember there's like this Zim Pride I remember so well. I went, and there was this Congolese guy. He looked like Bow Wow. I had the biggest crush on Bow Wow growing up. Like, he was my celebrity crush, and I was just like, whoa. And the way he was giving me attention, I was like,
okay, sugar.
Okay,
what's up?
I'm running away. I don't
running away.
This. Yeah, I don't. I liked it, but I didn't understand it.
Yeah.
So then I feel like it's knowing that, like, you're beautiful, but then not knowing that, because people would still say it, but obviously I'm going to that. Anyway, when I finally got into more like black communities, like hanging out, having that experience, then I just really was just like, I don't care. Like, I am not going to be out of school in my 20s being run by something that was said when I was like in grade 8 or 9. Like, I need to embrace my natural hair. I need to embrace natural hairstyle, protective hairstyles. And I think, I don't know if it was just one particular moment. Yeah. Because I do remember that my cousins used to say, Gina, you never wear braids anymore. Like, you never have your hair out, like all of that. Yeah. And so I think I really deeped it and thought to myself, like, okay, now it's time to actually wear braids, have your hair out, like, you're gorgeous regardless. Yeah. And so, that was me. Interesting. So is there a point in time then when, for you were just like, I'm beautiful and people know I'm beautiful too? Like, was there
I think not everyone knows my beauty, or understands my beauty. Yeah. For me, what's most important is that I know it for myself. Yeah. I think that was probably the most pinnacle moment, because it was literally everything. Like, in primary school, I was made fun of my so-called, I got nicknamed Juju lips because I have fat lips or bigger than the normal. Yes. So, like, that was, like, became a level of insecurity in that season. And I would always talk back and be like, well, at least I have some on my face, unlike some of y'all. But, but like, that was that journey. And there was a season where then I didn't like my lips. And I would be like, oh my goodness. And I'll try pull my bottom one in all the time or things like that. Like, there was that season. And then reaching that point where I was like, y'all are then coming back and y'all are injecting yourselves and putting yourself through pain for something that I have God given. Shame.
Can we talk about that for a second? Because I remember having the exact same experience being, I guess, then that was the only thing people would ever talk about or mention, like, wow, you have really big lips and stuff like that. And I remember specifically on the bus, some guy, I can't even remember what we're talking about. This was like grade 7, and I remember he was like, shut your big mouth, and he was like, and he laughed with his voice. It's like even funnier because you do have like a big mouth and lips. To now, people stopping me in the street being like, oh my gosh, like who does your lip inject? I'm like,
baby, who? The Heavenly Father, he did.
Yeah, God himself. Convenient how things come straight back around.
Wild.
It's one of the biggest compliments
that I get all the time. Yeah, like I really love it. And so it was different things. So like even my butt for a certain season. Yeah. Then Kim K's out here leading the way with the BBLs, and it's just it's been different things in different seasons, and so I dealt with that as like it was just a growing wave, and like some saw the beauty in it, and some would make fun of it, and then I'll be like, okay, that's fine. There's clearly something wrong with you. I don't think there's anything wrong with me because God made me this way, and in His eyes, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I am beautiful in His eyes. So like, that's what I've been said all in my life, and that's what I understand, and that's what I believe. Whatever reason you think that this is abnormal, I don't understand. So I think the one thing I am grateful for is continuously my mom and dad exposed me to African beauty and like all those elements. So then I got to understand that, hey, there's elements behind this that I didn't quite understand. I got to understand the history behind a lot of things, and first they'll laugh and then they'll want to be us. And so I was just like, okay, cool, Lord, like this is maybe tough now. I may be crying every now and then, but the minute I started to embrace certain elements, and I was like, yo, at the end of the day, this is my superpower. Like, this is my blessing in disguise, and I am going to enjoy it. I'm going to enjoy finishing my bottle of lip gloss because I don't have enough in that bottle to cover these lips. Like, I'm going to enjoy those seasons. So I think for me, hair was probably one of the big, most pinnacle, but not only for me, but for my mom too. Yeah. Because I don't think I don't think she did it in like relaxing intentionally with the mindset of, okay, like, straight hair is more beautiful. It was purely because of the care. Like going from Zim where you're fully supported with aunties, uncles, everyone wrapped around you, she went from being not necessarily a single mom, but it felt like it. Like in African terms, she was a single mom. She didn't have the community around her in the same way that she did at home to raise 3 kids. And so if there were things that made maintaining life and all that easier, I totally get it. Plus I looked great. So that's all that mattered. But for me, it was like, that was like a huge moment of discovery because I think I idolized European beauty for a while. And I realized that European beauty wasn't working for me. Like I literally found my first foundation that actually matched me when Rihanna came out with 420. So God bless her. Imagine that's not even that long ago.
No, it's not.
So I wasn't wearing foundation in that time. I was just enjoying my God blessed skin. Yeah. And so that moment when I was really like growing and discovering, okay, like, whoa, there's so much more. Like I've been, Jackie Aina, I have been watching her since day one. Like I have watched that woman flourish and change the beauty standard on such a different level. Like I'm so grateful for women like that have actually paved the way for a lot of creatives, a lot of Black beautiful women that don't know that they're beautiful or don't feel as if they fit into a particular box. They were like, hold on, this box wasn't even made for us in the first place. So let me show you. Let me show you another box that's actually quite nice that you would not even fit in it because you're that level pretty. And so it was very. I used to question the difference between different compliments. Like some people would say, "Oh my gosh, you're gorgeous. Oh, you're pretty. Oh my gosh, you're sexy." And I used to compare the different like compliments and be like, who are they coming, like compare who they were coming from and what they meant. And I'm like, oh, why are certain girls pretty and other are beautiful and other are just gorgeous? Like why, what defines this level of beauty? And so I feel like it's been a lifelong journey. I feel like even now, like talking to my guy friends, even when I was in a relationship, giving him clarity of the struggles that I do go through as a Black woman and giving him clarity of like, what beauty standards are that are stereotypical and the opportunities that we miss out on purely because we're made a different way is so interesting. So I loved my hair journey, not gonna lie. I'm so tempted to like shave it all off again, but I promised God that I'll be like, I'll keep growing it out. Then when I get married, then I'll be like, sweetie, sorry, here's your new wife. But I loved it. I love being bald. Like it just meant that I wasn't defined by that. Like my braids would be the reason why people would be like, oh my God, your hair. Like no one would just come up to me sometimes and just be like, damn, you look pretty in general. Like when I had new hairstyles, that was when a majority of the nice compliments came out. So I was like, y'all, if y'all ain't got nothing else to compliment on, let's remove that one and see what else y'all find. And so that was literally it. It was that beautiful journey of me being like, okay, I'm finding this in myself. I'm learning about natural hair and how to maintain it, how to take care of it, how to grow it. And teaching other people how to value it and love it too, because it's not their fault. It's just generations of ignorance.
Exactly.
So that's been good.
Well, I love that. I love that for you and for your future offspring. And I completely am with you there. Like, I love that you, most importantly, see the value in yourself and your beauty before you get any outside validation. And I feel like that is the most important thing, because when you're constantly looking for outside validation, that goes up and down and changes with the seas.
Exactly.
If you can find that within yourself, then that's the best thing.
Exactly.
That's
so I'm glad we both went through that journey. We made
it
on the other side.
I know, it's crazy. Like, honestly, I don't think this is going to sound crazy to people. I truthfully don't think I went through the
not liking yourself season.
No, I always liked myself, but like I don't think I really had that experience of okay, I'm desirable until like honestly last year.
No, you're lying.
Okay, that's not to say I didn't get compliments and I wasn't approached by men. Firstly, I had a very like sheltered upbringing, so I wasn't around a lot of different people anyway. I was constantly around similar, like the same community. Very much my friends stayed the same for 5 years, and that group stayed the same. So everybody that I was around, it kind of was the same. Until things changed last year, and you know, I really started going out, and you know, it was Amapiano events. I'd actually have to say it was event. And I only
she got out there, she's like, oh!
And when I say that, like, being around my brothers and thank you. The compliment
all you
of the desirability is nice. I was just like, oh, okay, so when you are around your own, they do appreciate the nyash and the way the melanin be glistening and all of this. And again, it takes an adjustment because I was just like, well, I don't really know about this. Like,
I was like, what is this?
Yeah, a little bit drowned in it. But that, honestly, how late is that awakening? Like, I am 24. To say that I had that so much later in life is just,
I don't blame you. I feel like for me, it was the same thing. But like a little bit different. For me, you know how you were saying, okay, you were seeing your friends in high school and they were like, oh, these ones are getting more attention than you are. I'd be like, God bless all my white girlfriends, I love them. But I'd be like quite confused. I'd be like, okay, cool. I'm actually dancing. Like I have like a dancing background. I used to do ballet, all of the hip hop, all of it. So I could dance when I went to the club. I went out to dance. I didn't go out to drink and meet other people very often. It would literally be like, okay, let's go for a boogie with my parents. So when my girlfriends got hit on more often, and I would notice it, I'd be like, oh. I just like went tunnel vision mode. Like I never really cared when someone then did compliment me because I just was no longer expecting it. I was just like, oh, I'm in the wrong crowd. Like I'm just here for the vibes. Even if I was dancing fire, the only people that would recognize that I'm dancing fire would be other dancers. Like so they'd be like, oh my God, you actually have like good rhythm and stuff like that. But other than that, like I'd be so confused because they'd just be waving their arms in the air and they'd get like way more attention. I'm like, oh, okay. And I don't think it was me. In that season, it wasn't me seeking attention. It was 100% me just having fun, but it was a realization. It was like, damn, I'm out here having to protect you from men. Like, why you haven't had to protect me much or at all? And then, it was very much like you. I found out about the African community after AFCON and all that jazz, and I started like going to events, not knowing that they existed, but now that they existed, I started going to them, and I was like getting this. Like, I didn't know, but now I call it new girl attention because there's always like, when there's a new face in Brisbane City, especially out in the nightlife, the way that the men are
Winning.
Oh my god! I was like, I was very shook up to my core. I was like, sorry, I'm a good Christian girl. I don't know how to deal with all of this. So,
I rebuke you.
I was going through it. I was like, oh, this is nice, but I'm like, okay, what do I do with it though?
Yeah.
It was a huge ego boost. It was like, it was almost like clarification of what I already knew.
Yes.
I was like, I knew I was popping. Now y'all just proved it. Thank you so much.
That is exactly what I mean. I was like, finally, somebody's seeing what I'm seeing. This sounds like when we're saying it, so maybe like egotistical, but it's not, because when you are in an environment your whole life where you're celebrated because you have white skin, or maybe you're exotic, like maybe you're from a Spanish speaking thing, and you know, like the most exotic they go is, you know, like El Salvadorian, like from Spain, Mexico, like when that is so highly celebrated, not only within like the little like echo chamber of a community
not
that
even
you
celebrated,
have, but
fetishized sometimes. It was wild.
But in the media, even like, it's only lately now that like really black women are popping up, especially from Africa, because of, you know, Amapiano and we still have ways to go.
Nigerians have stepped out and really done their thing too. Yeah.
And so it's just saying that, like, for someone that's always had it, always had the attention, always had the boyfriends, always had that, you know, it's so much different to someone that hasn't. But do I feel like, oh, woe is me when I change my story? Absolutely not. Because I don't know if it's the same for you, but I feel like it really helped me shape my personality outside of my looks, my
interactions with men and things like that.
Yeah, outside of my looks, outside of any validation. I really worked on like my personality, on my values, and some of my girlfriends were waking up like at 6 a.m. for school to beat their face and do their makeup.
You just put a little bit of highlighter in here and you said call it a day.
I didn't even used to do that. I promise you, people will think like it's so different because, like, you know, now like I beat my face and all of that. I would only do that for like church. I would go to school with nothing. Like, I was like washing my face, putting on some sunscreen, and I was anemic. I am saving every single
she said,
minute of sleep. Okay, if you guys ain't really chicken like that, then I ain't either. Like, which is actually so funny because it was only till I actually graduated in year 12 that I remember the guys were like, wow, Gina, like, we always used to say, like, she's so naturally pretty. I was like, oh, thanks.
I feel bad for girls of this generation though.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I would be God's strongest soldier, excuse me, in this generation. Like, imagine that we could do that. We could literally go barefaced to school, vibe it, and still have glowing natural skin.
Yeah.
There's girlies out there that 100% that are younger than me can beat their face better than I can. 5,000%. I see them and I'm like, you're in grade 9? Like,
grade 9, grade 7. These girls be fast.
I'm bamboozled. They're out here getting lash extensions and everything. I'm like, wow.
You have your whole life.
Yeah.
The lash extensions, your nails be done, all of it. Like,
I was shook. I was like, I'm low-key grateful that I grew up in the generation that I did, because my mom was like, why? When I was like, Mom, can I? She was like, why though? Like, you have zero need. And I'm so grateful that she said no.
Yeah.
I'm so, because it really taught me to be comfortable with my own skin.
Yeah.
Like, I love my own skin. If anything, I struggle to beat my face. Like, I beat my face occasionally because I love the skill, A, but B, just for the fun of it. But majority of the time, like, I'd rather rock a natural face sometimes. Like, I would rather just let the sun do its thing.
I am still the same to this day. Like, there's definitely those moments where I'm just like, you know what, let's just go out.
Let it be.
Let it be. God did his thing and let it show.
That's all I can do today.
Yeah.
But it's good.
So, I do have a question though. So when you did, you know, we're now with our people. Let's talk about the caveat of now the fact that you have had a different lived experience. Did you get the black white girl?
The nicknames are endless. What is it? Oreo, coconut. Oh, there's so many that I've literally now just blanked on them. But 100%.
Okay, I never got no Oreo or coconut.
No, babes, they were there. They were there. And like, you know how we always like Africans like talk to each other and they say insults in a joking way. It was literally that. It'd be like, I know that's an insult. I know we're all laughing.
Yeah.
But I know you're intentionally just like, you know, trying to make me feel bad for having decorum.
Yes.
Like, I was like, nah, I'm sorry, just because I can speak English the way that it's actually meant to be spoken doesn't, I don't know what you're insulting there. I actually attended class. and did it well, thank you very much, and probably know more of my like native language than you do. Like, you're out here calling yourself Zim, you don't know Ndebele or Shona, but you're coming at me
sideways.
Yeah,
because you're saying, yo, we're not American, we're not African American. We're African. We're from the continent of Africa, and we're Zimbabwean or wherever else you are from. So adopting this whole other culture is crazy to me. I feel exactly how you feel. Like I would get, oh my gosh, you're such you're so white, you're like a black white girl, like all of these things. And okay, I have to give it, like there are still people in my life, friends who do say that. And you know what, I know it's not ill-intentioned. I know that they're just, you know, joking around. But definitely there was like a period where I was like, damn, like I'm not even biracial. Like the crazy.
I wish I could show my background and say, yeah, maybe there was a little bit of sprinkle spice in there, but no.
No, like I was just so confused because I'm like, white people know for damn sure I'm black. So how do you know? And I do feel like it is on, I guess, like a more serious, lighthearted. I do think it's crazy that because you're eloquently spoken, because you know you act or hold yourself in a certain way, it's white. Like I understand what you're saying. Maybe I wouldn't have certain mannerisms if I hadn't have grown up in the environments that I did. But at the end of the day, I don't think our blackness should be controlled by the words that come out of our mouths or the activities we engage in. Because for a lot of you, I have more rhythm in my whole body than you do in your pinky. So
ask me now where I'm from.
Yeah, exactly. When I move my nyash, you will know where I'm
won't
from.
question a thing.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just like, it doesn't bother me now. I think maybe when I was younger, I remember like we had like my dad's family friends had like some kids that came, we went, we were just hanging out all around, and they just like, oh my gosh, you're like such a white black girl. And like even like people not thinking I'm Zim, like guessing all these other crazy things. And
but what's the standard? For me, that like it always bothered me because then who created that standard?
I know.
Who? Like, if we're using African Americans as a basis, some things, if we look at history, were formed off, okay, this is a thing that's been thrown over us, let's take it and make it our own, and let it not be an insult, but let it be something that we kill it. Do you know what I mean? And so I know for that, it was literally just like reversing it to work in their favor. But even so, it's just like, okay, like I learned class and decorum from my grandmother and my mother, not from my English teacher. Probably had less class and decorum with her cigarette smoking breath. No, like I learned all of that from my own home. It all starts at home. So I'm sorry that your mummy and daddy didn't teach you those ways. I'm pretty sure like they went to similar high schools. Like my mum even gets it now when bless her sweet soul, when she like meets like older people who like remember Zim as Rhodesia and things like that. And they'll like speak to her and they'll be like, oh my gosh, you speak English so well. And they're like, she'll literally make the joke and be like, babe, we were like, she'll laugh and be like, we were colonized. I learned proper English. Like the English came over. They said, okay, this is what you need to learn. And so during that time in life, we learnt it. I didn't learn it here in Australia or the UK, or I already had it. And she's like, I honor how a lot of those journeys she's handled herself with so much, like she's carried herself so well and navigated those kind of conversations really, really well. But I always wonder where that standard began. Like, why is ghetto-ness then associated with being black?
Exactly.
Just because I don't want to be ratchet and have like wear booty shorts that have half my ass hanging out, or like, you know, talk in slang. Like there's still slang words that I'm discovering to this day. Like someone will say it and I'll be like, what does that mean? And they'll be like, oh, it's this. I'm like, okay. Like, will I use it? I don't know,
but thank you for letting me know.
I'm now informed, so now I can. But yeah, like I always wonder. I'm like, why is the lack of using full terms or full descriptions, or like, it would be no different. You have slang terms in Ndebele, you have slang terms in Zulu, you have slang terms in Shona, but like that doesn't make you more Shona and Ndebele if you use those slang terms. If anything, you know you're from the ghetto areas of Zim or something like that. But like, sorry to all y'all that are from there, but like, like it's just, I always wondered. I'm like, okay, now what?
Yeah, what does define blackness? What is black? Because it's crazy. Africa number one is a continent. There are so many different shades, so many different cultures, so many different languages, so many, like, there's such a vastness and diversity. And then on top of that, it's not just us, you know, you have Americans, we have obviously the people from the islands, and so we cannot all be the same. And I have always been, like, since I was a child, someone that really rebelled against being put in a box. Like, if you try to force me into something, I'll fight it even more. So like, if you're like, this is what black is supposed to be, I'll be like, okay, that's cute, but let me do my thing. So yeah, I think it's just crazy that we do indoctrinate ourselves within the black community with white standards of what black people should be, because they're the ones that say we can't
said
talk.
it right in my head.
They're the ones that say we can't speak English correctly, and we're not educated, and we're not this and we're not that. And I don't feel like we should play into those roles even more within ourselves. But you know, I don't take things overly personal. As we've both seen, we've grown up having to have a hard shell. So
if anything, I feel pity for you. I'm like, shame on you. You lack the clarity of what this world is. You lack the clarity of like the things that have been fed into your subconscious, and you live by that. That's okay. That's on you, sweetie.
Yeah.
When you figure it out, come back and we'll chat.
And hell, maybe I am a little. I mean, I like some. We both went to Sticky Fingers. I feel like we. If you don't know what Sticky Fingers is, it's like an Australian band. Yeah.
Super alternative, like.
Yeah, I did have my
indie boho kind of vibes. Everyone did. What, Tame Impala? Everyone had their moments. I still love them. No cap.
Me too.
Like,
I can still listen to some Sticky Fingers songs. I can still. I mean, not as recent in my playlist now, but I can still do it. I can still go. I went to their gig. It was a really, really good. They're a really good live. So I feel like, you know, you take it with what it is. It's just made me a more well-rounded individual. It allows me to get into different rooms.
100%.
You know?
Have different kind of conversations. It opens so many different kind of doors. And that doesn't mean that, yes, okay, they're trying to make us fit in within that certain box, but at the same time, we're opening doors for others.
Exactly.
Like, someone has to do it. We can't always just be sitting on the outside complaining. Either create it for ourselves or step in and make something happen for yourself. And so if I have to then carry myself a certain way and you see it different, that's on you. I'm sorry. But at the end of the day, the success that I'm wanting to make happen is happening. So.
Exactly. And the success that I'm wanting to make happen is for the greater good of us all. So how about you just push me into that light a little bit more? Anyway, moving along onto that. Have you listened to the new Nicki Minaj album?
I haven't. Okay, guys, please don't hate me.
Lani.
Because what I did, I really want to. I just haven't had the time to. I like to have like a proper listening sesh where I just like get into my room, turn off all the lights, turn on the album, and like vibe. Yeah. I just saw little snippets on TikTok, like the one where she has what's her name? The other. And she has like a baby singing in it, and it's like,
oh, and Billie Eilish.
Yeah, she has Billie Eilish's intro. Yes. I was like, that's so dope. And she's singing too. I was like, oh, and I was listening to the lyrics. That's the one that I've seen quite a bit. And there's another one that's been popping off. So that's the only reason why I've seen it. So I don't want to, like, I'm trying, like every single time I see Nicki as the audio, I try to swipe past it so I don't ruin my first listening experience. But I'm excited. Thoughts? Let me know. Don't spoil it for me, but let me know what you think about it.
Okay. I went in, especially, I've always been a Nicki Minaj fan. Call me a Barb if you want to. Like, I don't feel like she gets the accolades that she really deserves. And I'm so happy to see her this year be getting the recognition she deserves. I know that she was speaking with Joe Budden earlier this year, and she was saying how influential she has been within pop culture and
rap culture. She made that for women.
And how she hasn't been on Vogue, and like, and I definitely know that it probably looked crazy that other artists like Cardi B and stuff had been on there before her. And I say that not because I don't like Cardi, but because like Nicki started this all. And so I just loved to see that she spoke it, and then now she was on the cover of Vogue. And Pink Friday too was so nostalgic for me because Pink Friday, her tour, was my first concert.
Oh, stop. You're spoiled. I wish I had experienced that. I genuinely wish I had.
It was a fairy tale. I'm not even going to lie to you.
goodness.
It's still the best concert I've ever been to. And she's an amazing performer. She has an amazing pen. Like, she does it all on her own.
Yeah.
And so I just have to give her props. This
100%.
album is sensational. I will say, when I first listened to it, I was a bit comparing it to the first Pink Friday. However,
But she's a different woman.
it's a different era. She's a different woman.
Yeah.
And with albums, you also need to be conscious of where you're listening to it. I jumped on that early in the morning. No. It's a good album late at night, maybe when you're in the gym. But let me tell you, her song with J. Cole. J. Cole has been on his ish this year on featuring on female
artist
songs. Like, he is just going, and I've always loved J. Cole. Her song with Drake I liked it. I did.
Okay.
I don't think people compared her song with J. Cole or the song with Drake to Moment for Life. I don't think there is any comparison to Moment for Life. I think that is a song that just stands on its own and it's in another league. And I feel like maybe because of the nostalgia and everything that's held
around
with it, it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I can't get past that song. It's like the one I know it's the rap song I know off by heart, bar for bar, word for word.
Yeah, I think it's dope.
Yeah, but
I think she's
listen to
accomplished
it.
a lot.
Listen
I
to
shall.
it.
I think there's 100%, like you were saying, she's paved the way for a lot of artists, and it's sad to see like them being accoladed and praised. Yeah, she 100% has been undermined for way too long. And I know there's like beef with like different, is it the Grammys? Like there's beef with the Grammys and reasons why. But I don't think that's any reason enough for someone to not be celebrated for their craft or their skill. And it's another thing. It's the good old, we love them. Mountains of caucus folks controlling who gets to be praised for their skill rather than allowing people to decide that. So, I don't know. And I definitely think there's been people before her, and she can speak on that way more than any of us could. But there's been legacies before her that have paved the way for her to be able to be just as influential as she has been. So I'm excited. I'll have my downtime. I will be sending you messages of,
yes,
oh my God,
send me your reviews.
Literally.
Pink Friday 2, the tour, I'm ready to go.
Make it happen.
Part 2 needs to happen. Yeah. Like, that is just, but it's a great album. Listen to it, let me know your thoughts. There's some phenomenal songs. It's just,
she's dope.
I love it.
She's so dope.
And so he's moving in. We're now coming into a new year.
Yes.
And you're a busy woman. Lani, you're a busy woman. You're an accomplished woman.
I don't know about that. We're trying to get there.
No, you need to celebrate where you are today. You are an accomplished woman. I mean, you've done some great things this year. You styled a very well done event. The Prima event was amazing. You guys did a great job, the team.
Thank you very much.
And you do styling on many shoots. You're always doing your thing.
Thanks.
So, but on top of that, you are doing a double major of 2 degrees.
Yes, sir.
So, I mean,
the most cliche, engineering and architecture. You can't be African without engineering law. What else, doctor? So
you're fitting the mold well. You're doing.
I had to. I couldn't shock my parents with a full creative. Be like, oh, I want to take off and do fashion design. They would have been like, sorry, what?
I shocked them.
Sorry.
I shocked them real good. I'm a 3rd child. But no, you're really.
I had to strike balance. I had to.
You did.
But yeah.
And you're just doing it all so effortlessly looking
Thank you
and
so
well. And we just love to see it. We love to see you grow. So what do you want to undertake in the new year? Is there something you really want to?
I think with seasons ending with Prima, as much as it was good and bad, that's its whole story in itself.
Yes.
As much as that season's ended, I think it gave me some, I created some great opportunities through that. And so, I'm excited to see where they go. I think I'm very tired of working for anyone else. I you want to hop in that stage where I work for myself. Styling is not as financially beneficial here in Australia. Here, I would not say in Australia, I haven't been everywhere, but here in Brisbane it's quite hard. I won't lie to you. The value for fashion here, when everyone's looking like they shop at Cotton On, is very, very hard. If I could do it.
You went there.
I could go into Noosa, I could go into James Street, but then it's also it's also connections there as well. And if I don't have the rich family to like connect me with that. It's kind of a
Yeah.
different journey as well. So I definitely do want to reach that stage where like I can rely on myself and rely on my own skills to bring me nourishment, to bring me peace, to give me stability. That's definitely where I'd want to be. I know Primo won't be coming back anytime soon, and I know our whole team has been let go and we're all going our separate ways. So yeah, like I'm curious to see also as a Brisbane wide what that will look like, because I feel like it was such a beautiful door and such a beautiful platform to connect other creatives with other creatives. So whether we continue that journey and just change the name, or I don't know.
Where one door closes, another one opens.
Yeah, so I'm just taking it, one step at a time. But I think that's what I'm seeking, just genuine happiness in that end, and being able to stand on my own 2 feet and do anything that I creatively want to explore in that way. But I still have a lot of learning to do. I feel like I'm always learning as a creative and learning to do things better, being more creative, not always putting myself in a box. And so I appreciate that. I am a multifaceted creative and I'm excited. Maybe I'll be your next nail tech. Maybe I'll be your next fashion stylist. Maybe I'll be your next designer and you'll be shopping at my boutique. Who knows? But yeah, like options are out there. And so whatever door swings wide open and God shoves me through, I'm going to try and walk in confidence and see where that takes me.
We love it. We know God is taking you places. We know you're working hard. Lani is going to be working with me on a project that I will be announcing soon.
Very soon.
So I'm very excited. And I know that you are just going to grow and flourish. And as life ebbs and flows, there'll be opening opportunities.
Yes.
You were given this talent for a reason. Damn it, girl.
Let's hope it's useful.
It's going to be used. It is going to be used.
But it's good. I'm looking forward to it, genuinely. Yeah. How about yourself? There's a lot of new coming in your season.
There's a lot of new. And I feel like, honestly, when I look back on this year and even like prior to this year, I would say like the last year and a half, 16 months, I do feel like God was really preparing me for things that were greater than I knew or understood. Yeah. And so I'm really excited. I really can't wait to just bless the people that have really held me down and been with me during this journey. You know, the moment that I met you, you have just been so phenomenal, so lovely, so supportive. Like, I don't think people realize, like, when I met Lani with a bunch of other people. Some of those people, who, where?
Side-eye, big side-eye.
Big side-eye, but you stayed consistent. I remember you were like, girl, you okay? Like, this. I'm like, she is so nice. And you were just so sweet. You have the best heart. And I really feel like, you know, we're like twin flames. We've been through.
God knew what he was doing. He just had to figure out the timing. He said, not in Essex, babe. You're too young. Maybe here.
Over here, both born in April.
Yeah, he knew what he was doing. Yeah. But it'd be good. Like, I'm so excited to see you prosper and like take that next step in everything that you do. So yeah, let's champion and kill this next year.
Let's do it. Anyway, where can the people find you? Plug your socials.
Oh, yes, socials. So you can find me on the gram. It's, what is my socials? My Instagram is at lani.kombanie. And that's the same with TikTok as well. A whole lot more will be coming out and hopefully a website too. And that will have all my info and my portfolio work and you'll see how multifaceted I actually am. So yeah, keep an eye out and it'll be out soon.
And guys, honestly, check Lani out. She's so talented. I definitely feel like you better get in now before her prices become next level.
I'll be wanting your money.
Yeah, she knows her worth. That's for damn sure. So thank you guys for tuning in to this week's episode. We have very much enjoyed this conversation. And as I said at the beginning, whatever platform you're listening on, give it a rating, like, share, subscribe, comment your thoughts, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye. Vibes.
Bye.